Hi, my name is Nicole Povemacher with beautifulsoulsmission.org, NicolePovemacher.me, and I want to talk about today riding the cosmic wave. Sorry, I look a little like crazy today. I had a client and it's been a busy day. Christmas was yesterday. I had too much sugar. You can see the puffiness. All right. Riding the cosmic wave is something that Spirit just kind of told me as I was going through a really deep healing on myself. I had a friend of mine give me a reading, and when she was doing the reading, she said there's something about jealousy that happened in the 80s. She could see my mom in the 80s, and she's like, when were you born? And I was like, yeah, I was born in 74. And I said, but my little sister was born in the 80s. Now, prior to this session, I kept seeing horses. And when I see things that come up over and over again, I know that spirit wanting me to, like, it's a sign for something, right? It's trying to get my attention. Hey, look at this. So as she's doing this and I'm thinking about my little sister, I was like, okay, this is really interesting. And she said, when she said jealousy, and I said, I didn't really feel like I'm jealous of my little sister, but wait till this happened. So when we got done with the session, I decided I wanted to look deeper into what that jealousy was. And so I went into meditation, and it was specifically around the jealousy. And then I remembered that when my little sister, when I found out that my parents were having a little girl, a sister, I thought when they sat my older sister and I down that they were going to give me a horse, right? So instead, I found out I was getting a little sister. So I was like so not happy with that. I was like, wait, this is all wrong. Like, I'm supposed to be getting a horse, not a little sister. This isn't what's supposed to happen. So in meditation, they showed me how, one, my little sister absorbed that jealousy trapped emotion. Two, what had happened growing up was when my parents had my older sister and I, they didn't have a lot of money at the time. And there was things that I wanted to do. I wanted to dance. I wanted to take gymnastics. I wanted to do different things with my friends. But we lived away from the city, so it was hard for me to get around to go do those things. And I never got to do them. And my parents didn't really have the money. But when my little sister came around, they were in a different place financially. So when this was happening, I was jealous. I was mad because all the things that I wanted, she was getting. Right? So as this like child, here I am seeing that, anything she wanted to do, she would get. Any pet she wanted, she would get. And it was like, wait, why does she get it, but I don't? So as I'm in meditation and being shown this, right? And then it's like showing me, it kind of took me to my dad, and it was taking me through the process, right? This is like going down the rabbit hole, but it's your own rabbit hole. It's not an external one, it's internal, okay? So it's taking me through that. And then it takes me to my son, and his brother, the second under him, on his dad's side. Now, one pattern that kept coming up for them was my son would ask his dad for something, and his dad would not give it to my son. He'd give it to his brother. And it used to just drive me crazy, right? Well, that was a similar pattern that was happening. Now, whether the reasons were the same, I don't really think that was the case, but it was still the pattern that was playing out. So they were taking it, so I was seeing that. And then they took me to my grandkids, and they started taking it between the two boys. And I was like, okay, so we're going to clear this out, because we're going in and we're clearing out the root cause of whatever this is, where it came from. Let's get this out of all people, places, things, right? And take all this out because it's not serving anyone for it. So that part of it happened. But then there was another part that came to play here. And this is like really riding the cosmic wave. When my oldest grandson was born, I had a great job at the time, and I was able to financially take care of, they were young, they were like 16, 17. I was able to take care of everyone, the mom, my son, my grandson, everyone lived under my roof, and I was able to help them. So as more grandkids came, and as my career changed, I wasn't doing what I used to do. So my money wasn't the way that it used to be. It wasn't as stable as I was used to having it. I wasn't able to do financially the things for the other grandkids as they were coming along like I would have loved to, right? But here was Spirit showing me that because I didn't understand that as a child, I had to experience this in a way to like heal it from everyone that this is in. We don't, nobody has to go through this again, right? Instead of like my parents, when I was born, they didn't have a lot of money. Then April, my little sister, when she came, they had enough to help her do what she wanted. Mine was a little bit backwards, right? Mine was like, I had money when the first one was born, and then I didn't as other ones were being born. So it's riding the cosmic wave. It's like that cycle of up and down until somebody understands it, right? And they can really release it and let it go. Like how this is like playing out over and over again in our ancestral history line. Now, sometimes we do not actually have to experience it as long as you learn the lesson. And I just want to share a little story on this. When I got pregnant at 19, my mom's mom, she ended up screaming at me. Nobody was happy that I was pregnant. I got pregnant by somebody who I can understand why they were feeling that way, but it just wasn't a happy, joyous thing. When my mom got pregnant at 19, it wasn't happy for her either. She got in trouble for it. So when my son got his girlfriend pregnant, I of course reacted negatively, and I wasn't happy either. Now I was over here thinking everything that I was going to have to do contributing to this, and I was just like, oh, all this stuff. But in fact, almost each grandkid that came after that, I still wasn't happy. I was just like, right? We're supposed to be looking at these kids like, yeah, they're blessings, but I wasn't. I was just like, there's another one, right? So this one day, I'm in Vegas. And I get him the Uber, and this gentleman starts telling me the story that he goes around to different places, and he was saying that his daughter had gotten pregnant, and the guy that she was pregnant by, the mom was having a really hard time with it. And he says, so I sat him down and I said, look, did you guys make this child in love? And he said, yeah. And he said that don't ever let anybody make you feel bad for making this child in love. And the funny thing about this was I understood the message that he was getting to me, because my son kept getting messages from different readers that be careful, there could be another baby on the way, right? And it was like this, here it is. So when this guy in the Uber tells me in the story, it was like, can you learn the lesson without having to experience it again? And I knew, and I said, well, if they're going to have another one, I'm going to love this child regardless of what's coming in here, because I know they're making it in love. Even if their love ends up, burning out, fizzling out, it was meant to be made in love. And so just understanding that message, it was like, okay, she got the lesson, right? And so there was nothing left to learn about it, and we could keep going. So whether down the road he ever has more kids or not, obviously it would be handled completely different than how repeatedly in our family we have been handling this thing over and over and over again, because someone learned it. That's learning the karmic lesson. So those are two really big important things to pay attention. So what I like to say is that what you judge, you will experience, right? So if you're judging people who are addictions or have addictions or whatever, pay attention to where you suddenly might have an addiction because the universe wants you to understand this. Or maybe your child is going to end up being an addict. Or if you're judging somebody, and this is lifetime after lifetime, if you are judging Black people and you're a white person, you might come into the next lifetime as a white person, or vice versa, whatever this is, right? So if you can just stay at the core of who you are, which is love, right? This is like natural well-beingness, what feels right, what feels good, what feels in harmony with the higher aspects of who you are, you're going to have a much easier life. And if you start looking at it from an observer aspect versus being sucked into it and say, what is this that's feeding off me? Why am I judging this? Why am I feeling so harsh about this? Or why do I feel better than somebody else who's going through a hard time, right? Most people who are going through hard times in their life, it's not like they really want to be doing that. Most people who have some sort of chemical imbalance, it's not like they would like to be acting the way that they're acting. Most people who have been traumatized, as children, it's not like they want to grow up and mimic what their parents did, but they never learned a different way to cope with the pain that they're carrying, right? Because it's just a cycle that's just been being repeated over and over again until somebody decides, hey, we got to stop it. We got to stop it here. And this is the same thing for corporations. This is the same thing for systems that are going on out here in the world. We cannot fix what is going on out in the world and in people by the same problem that had gotten them there, right? We can't do it from fear, and we can't do it by hurting people. It's going to take love and compassion, and I've been saying this message over and over again, but to get us to where we need to go. And it starts with yourself, because if we can't have peace in the external world if we haven't figured out how to love ourselves. And it's an inside job, and it's not the easiest job, but when you have the tools and you're able to understand how to like navigate your way out of it and do it in such a loving way, or go to the people, the right healers like me, and other people, there's some other really great people out there that can really help you pinpoint what that is and allow it to come up and out. I mean, it's such a gift and a blessing. So those are some really big things that I just wanted to share. And I hope that you can understand where I'm coming from when I say this. And I hope that, you know, it's going to help you go inside and really pinpoint some of these deep trapped emotions that you're carrying and what is actually playing out, where you need to maybe understand a lesson in here so we can stop it from coming down the pipeline, or be more compassionate with yourself or the other person. I guess one more part I just want to add in here is not everybody thinks the same way, and we think that everyone thinks like us. That's so typical of things going on. So for me, I don't typically go in my brain and beat up on myself, right? I'm just, because I love people, right? Like I would love to be compassionate with people and all that stuff. So I typically don't do that to myself. Now, sometimes if I were to act negatively to someone, usually it would be my son, like if it was something over and over again. And in a past video, I think I kind of posted how I had to really forgive myself for the anger that I was holding onto. But I think I just lost my train of thought. I'm talking really fast, but I just wanted to get this out here. Just to start paying attention to how you're feeling, how you're navigating in this world, because the more inside work that you do, the higher you're going to raise in vibration. It is going to happen over and over again, and you are not going to be getting triggered as much as that you used to do. You're just not. It's going to feel lighter, and that heaviness, it's such a heavy, 3D is a heavy feeling of you're just sitting and stuck in shit is what it feels like. I'm just stuck, right? And I don't want to be here. But it's a gift, because the universe is like, then look at it, feel it, sit in it, surrender it, and hand it over to your higher self. And when you can really do that and be compassionate with yourself, it just gets easier. And pay attention to your thoughts, because if your subconscious mind is running on that you're a bad person, that is not true. That's just a program that's going, right? So talk to yourself the way that you would talk to somebody that you love. Have somebody who, you know, that is good at seeing and the energy and hearing what you're saying to help you find the pattern of where you're stuck in the story, so you can start telling a new story. So even healers like me, we need to go talk to somebody every once in a while, or get a healing from somebody every once in a while, because we can't do it all ourselves, right? Like this is all of us coming together to help in a really special, unique way, just to help people navigate their way out. So if you need help, you know, releasing any of these blocks, feel free to reach out at beautifulsoulsmission.org, NicolePulvermacher.me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.